Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 8 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas vou fazer, con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas vou fazer, con alegrías y placer. Los pastelicos vou comer, con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos vou comer, con almendricas y la miel. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí.
Banana, Hannah. Try the salami, Tommy. Give it the gravy, Davy. Everybody eats when they come to my house. Try a tomato plate too. Here's cacciatore, Dory. Taste the bologna, Tony. Everybody eats when they come to my house. I fix your favorite dishes, hoping this good food fills ya. Work my hands to the bone in the kitchen alone. You better eat if it kills ya. Pass me a pancake, mandrake. Having a derby-irvy. Looking the fendel mendel. Everybody eats when they come to my house. Hannah, Dee, Tommy, Dora, Mandrake. Everybody eats when they come to my house. Pasta fazola, Tallulah. Oh, do have a bagel. Now don't be so bashful, Nashville. Everybody eats when they come to my house. Hey, this is a party, Marty. There, you get the cherry, Jerry. Now look, don't be so picky, Mickey. 'Cause everybody eats when they come to my house. All of my friends are welcome. Don't make me coax you, moax you. Eat the tables, the chairs, the napkins, who cares? You gotta eat if it chokes you. Oh, do have a knish, Nisha. Pass him the latke, matke. Chili con carne for Barney. Everybody eats when they come to my house. Face, Buster, Shed, chops from everybody eats when they come to my house. Everybody eats when they come to my house.
Hanukkah, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance a hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance a hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and like us to eat.
Well, for Mark, Poonam, and Roof me, Hooly Billy, let it go, Barrow. She'll be coming around the Catskills when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be coming around the Catskills when she comes.
When she comes.
Oi, sie hat ihr Weist davor. Oi, Kinene, hoi, she'll be coming around the Catskills when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountains when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountains when she comes. Oi, her name is Daisy Madel und sie keikelt wie a Knädel. She'll be coming around the mountains when she comes. She'll be coming from the butcher when she comes. She'll be coming from the butcher when she comes. Why, the butcher's name is Meish und sie gleich bei ihm die Fleisch. She'll be coming from the butcher when she comes. She'll be coming from the mikveh when she comes. She'll be coming from the mikveh when she comes. They will kosher her mit Cheshik, the Milchig und Fleischig. She'll be coming from the mikveh when she comes. She'll be coming from Las Vegas when she comes. She'll be coming from Las Vegas when she comes. Hoi in der Werde wachs min Jagdes und a Bemel is Cactus. She'll be coming from Las Vegas when she comes. She'll be meeting Kleiner Ebner when she comes. She'll be seeing Kleiner Ebner when she comes. Hoi, bei Ebner brennt a fire just because she raised desire. She'll be seeing Kleiner Ebner when she comes. Hey, she'll be making hulya hulya when she comes.
When she comes.
She'll be making hulya hulya when she comes.
When she comes.
Ein kleiner Rebner liegt da Täter, Daisy Mädel wird schon breiter. Oi, Röschen, Kalle,
Ich will dir sagen, ich gleich zu Herrn, als die sollst mir Liebe erklären. Wenn dir jetzt mit die Augen wollt ich mit dir geflogen, wie die willst, sart mich nicht ein, wenn die hast a bissele Sechel, und wenn die weißt ein arischen Schmeichel, wenn die tanzt wie ein Indianer bist, a vieler Galizianer, so gildes hart mich nicht. Bei mir bist die schön, bei mir hast die Chein, bei mir bist die einer auf der Welt. Bei mir bist die Gitt, bei mir hast it. Bei mir bist die Teure von Geld. Viel schöne Jüngler haben schon gewollt, nehmen mich und finden sie alle ausgeklebt. Hab ich nur dir, bei mir bist die schön, bei mir hast die kein, bei mir bist die einer auf der Welt. Bei mir bist die schön, bei mir hast die kein, die bist einer auf der Welt. Bei mir bist die Gitt, bei mir hast die it, bei mir bist die Teiere von Geld. Viel schöne Jüngler, sie haben schon gewollt, nehmen mich und finden sie alle ausgeklebt. Hab ich nur dich, bei mir bist die schön, bei mir hast die kein, bei mir bist die einer auf der Welt. Viel schöne Jüngler haben schon gewollt, nehmen mich und finden sie alle ausgeklebt. Hab ich nur dir, bei mir bist die schön, bei mir hast die kein, bei mir bist die einer auf der Welt. Zoek es mir noch amor, zoek es mir noch amor. Maar ich bin gern zu hören die schöne Wörter für dich. Zoek es mir noch amor, zoek es mir noch amor. Und einer Reden bringt Frieden und gibt mir Mut und Aschi. Ich fühl mein Herz, es weiß, find dir absindet fort, wo ich's frei, als ich hab der Leib, sie heben find dir a selige Rede, such es mir nach Amor, such es mir nach Amor, na rumare, schumare, such es mir nach Amor. Ich fühl mein Herz, es war, wenn dir ab sind der Fahrkreuz freit, als ich hab der Leid, sie haben für dir a selige Rede, sag es mir noch amor, sag es mir noch amor. Schumale, 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 zug, 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 zug. Zug nach amor.
I can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hand, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never would. Oh, no, no.
Christmas Day bomber. Where are you at on Christmas Day?
Senator Graham, that is an undecided legal issue, which, I suppose I should ask exactly what you mean by that. I'm assuming that the question you mean is whether a person who was apprehended in the United States is...
No, I just asked you where you're at on Christmas.
You know, like all Jews, I was probably at a Chinese restaurant.
Great answer.
Hello. Well, here we all are in a virtual Chinese restaurant this year for Kung Pao Kosher Comedy, the 28th annual Kung Pao Kosher Comedy. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sandy O. I'm your co-producer and your breakout room maven. And we've got a great show for you. We're so glad you're here. We would love for the comics to be able to hear your laughter. But in a room as big as we've got this evening, you know that would be chaos. So instead, we are looking for some volunteers. If you really love to laugh and we'd really love to hear your laughter, please wave your hand and then our tech mensch, there she is, Emily, our tech mensch, will look through these vast pages of you all and select a few of you to be our laughers, our volunteer laughers this evening. So the way it works, when your mic is open, that means your mic is open. So please keep in mind that we want to hear your laughter, but we don't want to hear that, that other stuff that might be going on if you're still cooking dinner or something like that. Speaking of dinner, we hope you will enjoy a drink this evening. They are on the house, yours. And please join me in welcoming the creator and producer of Kung Pao Kosher Comedy, Lisa Geduldig.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your living room. Hope you've been enjoying this fabulous year we've been having. So we wanted to do Kung Pao and we couldn't do it in person. So here we are coming into your apartment, your houses, wherever you are. So for those of you who have never been to the event before, it's been taking place in San Francisco, in Chinatown for the last 27 years. And we're going to show a little film that we put together to give you a little retrospective. In Jewish tradition, we go to Chinese restaurants and a movie on Christmas. Chinese restaurants are open and movie theaters are open. And then Kung Pao came about as an accident in 1993. October, I was going to be performing at a women's comedy show. It was at a place called the Peking Garden Club, and the last thing on earth I thought it was going to be was a Chinese restaurant. I just assumed that the Peking Garden Club was a comedy club, and I got there and it was a Chinese restaurant. And I was doing a lot of Jewish material in my act. And the next morning I called a friend from summer camp, my friend Toby, and said I had the most ironic experience. I was telling Jewish jokes at a Chinese restaurant, and out of this conversation came the idea of doing Jewish comedy on Christmas in a Chinese restaurant. The first year I produced Kung Pao, I'd never produced an event before, and I wrote a press release and sent photos to the press. We had 400 people when I had only told the restaurant there would be 200, and I just kept telling the banquet manager, just keep cooking.
It is comedy for the crowd that doesn't celebrate Christmas.
Jewish comedy in a Chinese restaurant on Christmas. It's called Kung Pao Kosher Comedy.
Kung Pao Kosher Comedy has been taking place for the past 27 years in Chinatown in San Francisco. We've been at the New Asia restaurant since 1997 for the past 22 years. And because of the pandemic, New Asia has had to reinvent itself temporarily as an Asian supermarket. They will be opening up again once it's safe to do so, but for the time being, New Asia is a supermarket and not a Chinese restaurant. The second year of the show, I came up with this idea to serve fortune cookies at the end of the show that have Yiddish proverbs in them. So I found a fortune cookie factory in San Francisco's Chinatown that makes custom-made fortune cookies.
All kinds of people coming from around the world, politicians, famous people, actors, they all love to come here because it can bring fortune to them. And they love the taste, they love the environment. Have a good success comedy show this year.
Hey, if it hadn't been for the humorists in this year, I don't know if I would have made it. We need this kind of humor. We need people to take the realities we're living in and turn it on its head so we have some sense that we're not alone in thinking all of this stuff is crazy. Seriously.
I hope you enjoyed that. So before we get started with the show, some different people, different comedians, people around the country have been living with their parents during the pandemic. And Nathan Habib, who's a comedian who has performed on Kung Pao in the past, had been living with his parents, and he put a couple of videos together.
Hey everyone, as you can tell from my hair, I've been home for exactly 1 month, and
It feels like 3.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm asking. So
Nathan, you want me to wash it?
What are you doing here? I'm doing my Zoom comedy show. Why are you even, Mom, this is my show. You're taking my headphones from me now?
Nathan,
This is
so
unreal.
funny.
Okay, I
He
don't need
is
that
so
support from
funny.
you
He
right
was
now.
he was very handsome. Even he has his learning disabilities.
They don't even know
Look,
about my learning disability.
he was telling jokes when he was on his bar mitzvah, and
Okay.
his favorite toy
Damn, Mom, you just
was
gonna put me on
his
blast with this.
dinosaur. You see his neck, it's look like Nathan's neck.
That's very funny.
I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah.
Thank you, Nathan. So I have actually been living with my mother in Florida. I came here on March 3rd for 2 weeks. I think it's March 313th now, possibly. And I'm 50 something years old. I haven't lived with my mom in about 40 years. So we've been getting to know each other. And I've been trying to keep us safe. So we're doing Instacart and, not going to the stores. And the most physical activity I'm getting these days basically is just watching the Instacart shopper going down the aisles on my app. It's very tiring. And then I feel like a docent in a museum after we've washed everything down with bleach, which is probably unnecessary. I take my mom into the garage and I show her all of the items that we bought. The Jewish refrigerator, we have a second refrigerator in the garage, like, either that or a ping pong table. So we've been really having a good time. I've never lived in Florida before, and here I am at 55, living in over 55 community, and I'm old enough, strangely. And I actually heard myself say these words last week. I called and asked somebody if the socially distant bingo game was going to be happening outside at the clubhouse. So I feel like a 17-year-old boy living in my mom's basement doing a radio show, but doing a comedy show. This is all new circumstances. I'm not wearing pants, for instance, just things that you can do when you're doing comedy on the computer. And it's kind of a bad time to be a hypochondriac. I don't know if anyone else here, any of the other Jews possibly can relate to this, because, there are all these different symptoms if you were to get COVID. And I just don't know if my chest pain is my reflux acting up, or if it's my anxiety, if I'm supposed to be taking my pantoprazole, or I'm supposed to be taking my Ativan. So in the beginning of the pandemic, my mom wanted me to go to the bank and get some singles and 5s and 10s. So I went into the bank and I was wearing a mask and gloves, and I handed the teller a piece of paper because my mom had written everything down, and I didn't realize what I looked like a bank robber. I was like, no. So, but toilet paper is hard to find. This is what I find myself doing at 2 a.m, looking online for toilet paper. I actually read an article from the AARP magazine that suggested that you can get toilet paper at staples.com. So I was doing that one night. My mom and I know exactly how many rolls of toilet paper we have in the house. The other morning at breakfast, I said, I have 6 rolls. And she said, I have 5. We didn't even discuss that the subject was toilet paper. We were just getting nervous about running out of toilet paper. The bagel shop down the street is diversifying, and they're selling toilet paper. And, so this is basically what my life has become, living in Florida, looking for toilet paper. So my mom and I have been enjoying ourselves. We just do all kinds of crazy things at night. And then this is a conversation we had the other night.
Fossila mamma leva. Startar en toki en oma mikus en ista. Holichka malama. Aista benavi bari dood zraleka. Sima holanya ma. Oh, si shuvar benikana for so tinka kalo. Lichka lama volichuba manyava. No starched. Fochika mala. No starched. Oh, lichka malecha. No starched the pika. La pochila manya.
So my mom, who's just a couple of years older than me, had always been a very funny person. She was about 4 when I was born. And I said to her recently, Mom, do you want to do stand-up comedy? So I've been producing a monthly show called Lockdown Comedy, and my mom's been on the show. And I didn't book her for Kung Pao, but then she told me that I wasn't going to have a place to sleep this week. So my mom is going to be doing a little special guest set. So please welcome the one and only, the woman who birthed me, Arlene Geduldig.
Woohoo!
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here amongst all these wonderful people. I had an incident. I was in the supermarket and I saw very young men who were working there. And then I saw other young men that were customers in the express line. They were from the fire department, and I couldn't get over their muscles. I have never seen anything like it in my life. I stopped dead in my tracks. I couldn't shop anymore. I was overwhelmed. I said, oh my God, I'm not leaving this store until they leave because I'll never see this again. All you do is see older people, older men, older women. So why shouldn't I take advantage of this? So I stood there and I watched them and I was in seventh heaven. Oh, what an experience. My daughter found out about it and she said, Mom, why did you stay there so late? I was worried about you. Well, she went out and she bought a beautiful, beautiful piece for me to see every day of my life.
Oh, the topless men's.
It was a calendar. And I thought I would have my firemen on it. But lo and behold, it was all about gorgeous young men, what bodies they had. Oh, the best. Well, that was my reward for staying so long in the supermarket. Yes. And I appreciate that I am explaining this to you because I love to talk and I have to go. Sorry. Have a good day.
Mama Arlene. Okay, what she didn't tell you is I got her this topless. Let's hear it again from my mother, Arlene.
Yeah,
Arlene.
So I got this shirtless fireman's calendar from my mom, and then my dad is in a nursing home and he needed a calendar. So his aide came by and picked up the calendar because my mom, I guess, didn't want it any longer. And then everyone at the nursing home my dad is wondering like if Irving is gay because he's got this calendar of these amazingly beautiful shirtless men. Anyway, the next performer coming to the stage, he's made several appearances on Conan O'Brien, and he was a writer for April's Saturday Night Seder. Please welcome the fabulous Alex Edelman.
Hello. Sorry. What is in April is what that. Thanks, sweetie. My girlfriend just handed me my headphones. So, hold on, make sure I'm not cut off. I'm sorry. So all the performers have a virtual background. But the issue is when I use my virtual background, this is what happens. It's like, this is how pale I am that they're like, clearly clearly the background is not the bugs. The background is this guy. So now I'm really sorry. I mean, I would kind of love to just do the set like that, but I know that it's going to be really hard for people to focus. Be like watching Gumby. Okay. Guys, I don't want you to focus too much on the visual clues, though, that let you know that I'm Jewish. The amount of, the various types of books that I read, 54 writers grapple with the Torah. Whereas up behind this, Wanderings, Chaim Potok's History of the Jews, all great, depressing reading. If anybody needs it. And the most Jewish thing of all, I'm 31 years old. I have a heating pad because my parents were moving last week and I threw out my back. I threw out my back helping my parents move. And one of the few things that I brought with me is this. And you're like, oh, look, Glenfiddich. At least he's cool. It's not Glenfiddich. It's the Megillah that I used for my bar mitzvah. So this is the kind of kike that you're dealing with. Where I think we can use the word. We can reclaim the word. Absolutely.
Oh.
I know. So what joke shall I do first? Let me just check. Hold on. Come on, airplane food. And it is not airplane food. I just want to tell you guys one quick story, and then I'll go. And I know it seems like a lot to put all of my eggs narratively in one basket, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. I just want to tell you guys, given the spirit of the day, about the one time me and my family had Christmas. And this is a true story. My mom had this friend named Kate. And over the course, and by the way, my family, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. My mom had this friend named Kate, and over the course of a calendar year, Kate lost her entire family, not at the mall, permanently. And my mom thought, like, this woman was not Jewish, and she had nowhere to go for the Chag. She had nowhere to go for the holiday of Christmas. And my mom thought a nice thing would be to have her over for the holiday. My mom is from Cincinnati. She's a Midwestern Jew. My father was a little less receptive because he grew up in Boston. And Boston was really, he grew up in a really anti-Semitic part of Boston called Boston. And for him, Christmas had a bit of it. And like, he grew up in a hard time to be a Jew in Boston, which was between the years 1750 and 2001. It was not easy to be Jewish, and he did not want to have Christmas because he had a bunch more negative associations. My dad is a lovely guy, but he's also had a bit of a thing with like non-Jewish holidays. I don't know if anyone else grew up this religious where I would be like, Dad, could we go trick-or-treating for Halloween? And he was like, no, on Halloween, it used to be people would go out in packs and they'd murder Jews in the street. And I'm like, well, now they give us full-size Snickers bars. So isn't that just like a huge come up for us? But we weren't allowed any of the non-Jewish holidays. So, of course, like, this is how young and insulated me and my brother AJ were. AJ and I come downstairs. It's Christmas Eve. It's the morning of Christmas Eve. And my parents are sitting in the living room. I'm 6 years old. AJ is 4 years old. And my dad says, boys, come in the living room. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys grew up in this kind of house. But in our home, the living room, you're only like in the living room for two things. Death of a family friend or relative. Or, Hannah, can you stop, please? I'm doing my one show. Someone come say hi. Come say hi to me. This is your punishment. This is my very real girlfriend, Hannah, who is making, what's that? Are you making a soda stream? Don't make a soda stream now. It's going to be the loudest thing in the world. This is the soda stream. Here, come say hi. People, no one's going to believe. Everyone's going to be, she's real. I promise she's real. Come here. Okay. That's my girlfriend, Hannah. We've been living together in the pandemic. Sometimes we spend time together, and other times we just sort of circle each other, pretending we don't exist. It's a fine ballet. Hannah also calls me Mazda because she says for the first 6 months she had zero interest, which I think is quite a mean thing to say about a boyfriend, but that's okay. Okay, so by the way, I have no idea how this is going down because I'm in full screen, so it could be bombing right now. I have no clue. But we go into the living room. We weren't allowed in the living room except for two things: tragedy or guests. And we go in the living room, no guests, So me and my brother are like, oh shit, Sharon Finkel died again. This is devastating. We go in the living room where we sit on the forbidden couch. I don't know. I've not polled people. I'm just guessing every Jewish family, a couch you weren't allowed to sit on. It was covered in plastic. It was a museum piece, something. You're not allowed to sit on the couch. So we sit down on the couch of doom. And my mom goes, boys, this year, we're going to have Christmas. And again, I'm 6 years old. And this is how Orthodox I was raised. I look at my dad and I say, Abba, what's Christmas? And my father went, and my mom went, Elazar, why don't you tell them what Christmas is? And he says, it's like Hanukkah. And my mom undercuts him and just goes, yeah, but maybe even a little bit more fun. I think my mom always wanted to have Christmas, and this was her chance. Let's be honest, Christmas, way better than Hanukkah, 100 times better than Hanukkah. There's one Hanukkah special, and it's the Rugrats. Everyone has done a Christmas special, every single one. And to add insult to injury, every single one written by Jews. Every single one written by Jews. It's just like there's only one good Christmas song that's composed by a goy, and it's Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. Everything, and by the way, that produced by a Jew. Every single other song composed. We didn't just give them Christmas songs, we gave them Christ. We gave without Jews, no Christmas. So whenever anyone says to me, Merry Christmas, I'm like, yes, and a Merry Christmas to you. Because it's our holiday. We brought him into this world, and depending on which Mel Gibson you ask, we took him out of it. And so if you're grateful for your Lord and Savior and your music and your specials, it's all on us. Anyway, my parents explain Christmas. My dad's like, we're going to have something at Christmas. Kate comes into the house. We decorated the crap out of this house. We went whole hog. No hog. Kosher Christmas. We put garland. We had stockings hanging over the fireplace. We're just like, we're blown away. Kate, by the way, I don't remember a ton about her. I don't remember. All I remember about her, and maybe this will be like indicative for some people, she was like a real Boston wasp, like a really, I remember chunky gold earrings and frosted blonde hair. And that's in like a Hermes scarf, like a nice scarf. And she's really touched by the whole thing. And she goes, this place looks great, but we need to put out cookies for Santa Claus. And AJ and I look at each other, and we look at my dad, and AJ says, Abba, me's a Santa Claus. Who is Santa Claus? And my father just looks at my mother, and she's like, and he's like, Santa Claus is a fat man in a red suit who comes down non-Jewish chimneys and gives gifts to their children. And AJ and I are like, okay, is Santa Claus real? And my dad looks at my mom, and she's like, and my dad just looks at us and he goes, sure, fine. Yes, he's real. So we put out cookies in front of the fireplace, which was in my dad's office. We put cookies on my dad's desk. We go to bed. We wake up the next morning. We run into my dad's office. The cookies are gone. And we're like, Santa came! Baruch Hashem! We run out to the garage. That's the best part of this, in my opinion. My dad was like, we will not have a Christmas tree in our house. It's halakhically inappropriate. We are not having a Christmas tree in our house. And my mom was like, fine. So we had a Christmas tree in the garage. Because my father feared from Hashem, my mother feared for the carpet. So we had this Christmas tree in the garage, and there's one photo of this. And I am so pleased to be able to share this photo with you guys. That's AJ and I. In the garage, you can see the 1990s ice melt. We're wearing jackets over. AJ's wearing an ugly Christmas sweater. I was never from the time I was like 5 years old until the time I was 12, I did not wear anything other than double denim except to go to sleep. So you can see, if you look closely, the double denim that I was wearing. And I wouldn't let anyone cut my hair except for myself. I cut my own hair and I wore double denim. And I don't want to unpack that too much. But we have this Christmas tree. Oh, and hold on, one more thing. This is what we're wearing our Christmas gifts. We're holding our Christmas stockings. And you can see, by the way, the blue Chanukiah, the one sad Chanukiah that my dad put there as his one attempt at putting some Judaism in this tray. This is our Christmas gifts. We got cassette tape Walkman, and we were thrilled because they were the newest technology and they cost $1 million each, and we couldn't believe we had these cassette tape Walkman. And to put in the cassette tape Walkman, Kate got us the only Jewish gift she could think of. She got us the cast recording of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, where the role of Joseph was sung by, does anybody know? Put it in the chat if you know. Anyone know who played the role of Joseph in the Andrew Lloyd Webber 1992, 93, 94, 95? So he did it forever. He's the American Joseph. Does anybody know? No, not? Yes. Someone wrote Mandy Patinkin. It's Donny Osmond. Thank you. Mitch, Vita, and Lauren. That's right. Everyone's writing Donny Osmond. Yes, it's Donny Osmond. Two photos, all that exist. My mom took hundreds of photos of every banal event, but there are 2 photos of this Christmas because my mom knew that they might be used in like Jewish divorce court at some point. 2 photos, 2 piece, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, of 2 little Jews wearing jackets because they're in a Boston garage in December, and they've got headphones on, and they're decorating a Christmas tree, and we've got yarmulkes on underneath our headphones, and on the headphones we're listening to an Old Testament story adapted into a musical by a gay man, where the lead role sung by the Mormon Prince himself, Donny Osmond. And we go to shul that day. I'm sorry, not shul. What am I thinking? We go to yeshiva, because yeshiva, if you can guess, not canceled for Christmas. And we come home that night. My father gets a phone call from the principal. And the principal, this is how the phone call goes. My mom loves this story. My father doesn't think anything about it, but he goes, the phone call goes, Professor Edelman, your sons have a lying problem. And my father said, what did they do? And he said, well, the teacher tried to explain to the Yeladim, the children, the very delicate topic of Christmas. And Alex raised his hand and said, we had Christmas. And the principal's like, you didn't have Christmas. And I was like, I'm pretty sure we had Christmas. Because not only did we have the dinner, we watched every Christmas special, every single one. We watched, and by the way, I'm not sure if there are any non-Jews on this, but I don't think non-Jews register this. Christmas is the point, story, and epicenter of every piece of Christmas-themed programming, period. Christmas is never a subplot in a Christmas movie. Every Christmas thing is always about the meaning of Christmas or the spirit of Christmas. That's the core and gut of every Christmas. It helps Will Ferrell find his family. It helps Macaulay Culkin kill those intruders. There are 2 types of Christmas movie and Die Hard. Those are the only 2 examples. And we watched the Peanuts Christmas special. So we're running around our house going, the meaning of Christmas, Charlie Brown, the spirit of Christmas, Snoopy. And my dad's like, crying in a corner basically. And so in school, they're like, you didn't have Christmas. And I'm like, pretty sure we had Christmas. And the thing about Christmas is that there's a meaning of Christmas and a spirit of Christmas. And the teacher was like, all right, well, I mean, you're confused. You had Hanukkah. Anyway, non-Jews believe in this thing called Santa Claus. And AJ raised his hand and he goes, we had Santa Claus. And they're like, you didn't have Santa Claus. And AJ's like, pretty sure we had Santa Claus. And they're like, and this is how AJ explained it. And I don't know how religious this reference is, But this is how AJ, with no help, explained it. He was like, yeah, Santa Claus is a fat man in a red suit who comes down the chimney and he gives gifts to Goyish children. And also, he eats cookies the way that Eliyahu Hanavi drinks the wine on Pesach. That was his explanation. I don't know if there are non-Jews here or if there are less religious Jews, but if you're raised in an Orthodox home, what happens is on Passover, your dad will put a glass of wine on the table, open the door, and then kick the table repeatedly and go, look, he's drinking it, and you'll freak the fuck out. So, I mean, part of me is like, I wish there was a crowd here so I could be like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? But it's exactly what happens. Looking back, it is so strange. When I have kids, I'm going to be like, listen, there's a guy named Eliyahu. Actually, no, that's not true. I will lie to my kids. I will definitely have. I'm going to kick the table and be like, look, he's drinking it. Or it would be great if forget it. But like, I love Eliyahu Hanavi, but AJ was like, yeah, there's a non-Jewish Eliyahu Hanavi, and he's named Santa Claus, and comes down chimney, gives gifts to non-Jews, and the whole class pauses. I remember this. AJ went, and he ate all the cookies that we put on my dad's desk outside the fireplace. And so the teacher says, Professor Edelman, is this true? And my father went, no. Said it's not true. And then he went, well, it's not entirely true. Santa Claus isn't real. My wife and I ate the cookies. And apparently there was a 10-second pause, and then Rabbi Shapiro went, I know Santa Claus isn't real. He said, did you eat the cookie? I'm sorry, he went, did you have Christmas? And my dad explained. He explained that this woman had nowhere to go. He explained that he actually thought this was a really great teachable moment. And my dad has no idea how good this makes him look, I think. Because he explained to him in a really studious, thoughtful way that this woman had lost her family and that he thought about it, and he didn't really want Christmas in his home because he had so many negative associations with it growing up in Boston in the 60s and 70s. But he thought that it was a good example for his kids that sometimes doing the most Jewish thing isn't always exactly the most conventional choice. And the principal listened, and he nodded. Apparently, he's like, oh, I understand what you mean, yes. And then he went, but I don't agree. He said, I think what you've done is idolatrous. He said, it's avodah zarah, it's worshiping idols. He said, I think you've really confused your children, perhaps permanently. And most importantly, I think you've done a sin. And you and your family should begin repenting for it immediately. And my father, to his credit, went, well, Rabbi, clearly you don't understand the meaning of Christmas. And then he hung up the phone. And I think that is such a great teachable thing. And I'm 19 minutes in, and I know I've got one more moment contractually. So hold on. Before I go, I just want to address what I think is the elephant in the room. There's another Alex, and not you. My girlfriend just looked at me. By the way, my girlfriend made cocktails while I was like, sweetie, please, could I have some peace? And she went to, what's in these? It's tangerine, mezcal, soda, and soda. Okay. There's another person in the Zoom room named Alex E. And I just think it's massively inappropriate that there's another Alex E here. And Alex, I just want to know what you have to say for yourself, frankly. Where are you from? Wisconsin?
Yes, I am from Wisconsin.
Okay, no one's perfect. So like where in Wisconsin? Are you from Milwaukee?
Takes one to know one. No, I'm actually more north of that. I'm about a half hour south of Green Bay in a place called Appleton.
Your place called I always thought it was called Appleton. It's called Appleton.
There you go. Yeah, where Skyline Comedy Club is, which is probably a place that you love.
I've heard good things about Skyline Comedy Club.
It's a great place. It's a great place.
Have you been to? I know I need to go because Judy Gold's coming up next, and she's like legit my favorite comedian / big sister. But have you been to a place called House on the Rock?
No, I have not, but I should be because it's an amazing place. I have friends that have gone there.
My favorite thing, and I know this is a random way to end. House on the is an extremely random way to. I should have left on the heartfelt story. House on the Rock is this guy made by this guy Jordan, and he brought a bunch of plans to Frank Lloyd Wright, and he was like, "What do you think?" And Frank Lloyd Wright looked at the architectural plans that this guy brought to him, and he went, "I think you're crazy, and if you don't leave, I'm going to call the cops right now." And the guy was like, "Screw you, Frank Lloyd Wright. I'm going to build this house." And he built the house and turned it into a tourist attraction. And looking back, Frank Lloyd Wright was 100% correct, and this guy absolutely needed to be institutionalized. And if you ever get a chance, like during, say, a pandemic, please look up House on the Rock and all the stuff that's been collected there. Anyway, Chag Sameach for the Goyim, Chag Sameach for the Jews, and thank you so much for having me. I've been Alex Edelman. Enjoy. Why are you still pinned on the screen? Well, I'm removing the pin. Oh wait, I can't. Am I the? Yeah, it's all about me. Chag Sameach, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys later.
All right, Alex Edelman. Let's hear it for both Alex E's, Alex Edelman and Alex E from Appleton, Wisconsin.
Woo-hoo. Yes.
Okay, our headlining performer is waiting in her room. She's had Comedy Central, an HBO special. She has been on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. She has a hit podcast, Yes. Nope, she has a hit podcast, Kill Me Now. She's going to kill me for fucking up. And she's the author of the book, Yes, I Can Say That. When they come for the comedians, we're all in trouble. Please put your hands together for Judy Gold.
Oh, you know what? I just want to say to Lisa, you said fuck, and you told me I can't curse. So, fuck. All right? Anyway, how's that? Mary, oh, by the way, wait, I'm sorry, what? Oh, Mary is dilated. And how are the control? Where's the father? Does anyone know where no one knows where the baby's father is, but we think it's coming. But can you find him? Can you seriously go? Anyway, it's great to be here. I'm actually in New York City. Thank you. Thank you. It's been so great being, I've been going back and forth to Provincetown, but being in New York City during a pandemic, it's so fun when there's no theater and no museums. But you know what's great? It is a really Jewish city because the only thing that's open are restaurants, but you have to eat outside in these little sukkahs. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. Sukkahs, all up and down Broadway and Amsterdam and Columbus. And all I'm waiting for is a big truck to come and bash into one of the sukkot, whatever. Sukkah. And, I could just imagine, is that blood? Oh, no, that's marinara sauce. Oh, God. Someone had ricotta cheese. No, that's brain matter. Sorry. Oh, God, calm down. What else? I've been trying to think of the positive things about COVID, which there aren't that many. Living in New York and Provincetown, and I know a lot of you guys are in San Francisco, so you probably noticed the same thing. I've seen a lot of older gay men wearing masks from before the pandemic. So I don't know if that... Okay, I just want you to know, Miriam better smile or I'm going to have to move her to page 2. Okay. All right. Thank you, Miriam. I can't. I got to look at the Fabissina. Larry Garnsberg. Let's get it going. All right. He's smiling. Anyway, and don't think I don't see you, Bobby S. But here's the good thing about the COVID. No more mouth kisses from people you hate. Plus, my car is getting 4 months to the gallon. Good night, folks. Thank you. That's 4 months to the gallon. Miriam, you're like, what did my mother send you to have that face while I'm performing? So It's funny. I have been performing. I've been doing a lot of these Zoom things. This is how desperate the comedians are. I performed on the back of a flatbed truck at a drive-in movie theater. Okay, I'm 58. I was 57 at the time, and there's no way Lisa Godoldig is 55. Anyway, I'm 55. No, you're not. You're my age, okay? So anyway, and Lisa, if you're 55, I want to get your surgeon's number. Good, folks. Anyway, I'm kidding. She knows I'm kidding. Oh God. Anyway, I just. Oh, by the way, speaking of Zoom, I had Zoom therapy today, and yeah, I did. And this came up as my background because we had a sound check right before. So I'm literally, my therapist is like, "Oh, I can work with that." I'm like, "Well, I can't." Okay, I'm not doing my Haftorah for you. All right, talking about my mental problems. Anyway. So I did stand up on the back of a flatbed truck at a drive-in movie theater. The audio was going through the radio in the car. It was so ridiculous. I was doing like car jokes. I'm like, "Hey, Audi, what's your problem, huh? Someone hasn't been inspected in a while, huh? Hey, Mercedes, you don't like the Jew jokes? Yeah." But the Dorband family, I like her. He is not. No, don't. She's very nice, but he's Fabissima. Let me see what else. I like Wendy Smith, even though you got to clean the. No, you got to clean the thing. It's a little dirty. All right. Anyway, Angela, seriously, you got to get a housekeeper in there. So, what else? The Zoom thing I don't like. We did High Holiday. We did Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur via Zoom, which was so. I'm literally on my couch, and the services are on my flat screen TV, and we're sitting on the sofa, and I'm whispering like I'm in shul. I'm like, what? And then I started talking about what everyone was wearing. It was like. So, the Zoom sucks. I hate the Zoom. This is what I hate about Zoom. Ready? Saying goodbye on Zoom, it's like the longest Jewish goodbye. Is it not? It's like, all right, see you guys. All right, great seeing you. Okay. Leave. No, still here. Wait, leave meeting. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. Yeah. Here's the other thing. How many Zoom calls have you been? A person is like emoting and they're on mute. That is my favorite. So, I've been on so many Zoom things where they end it, the program is over, and like all of a sudden everyone, I'm like, I can't be the last one. It's like being at a party and being the last one to leave. It is so, all right. Anyway, but that's my Zoom stuff. I can't stand the Zoom. And I also realized, in March when this it began in December, but we won't go into that. So March, when we were stuck at home and quarantining, I realized that I was in Provincetown, Massachusetts, because I'm gay and it's in the rule book. And I realized that I didn't have a lot of the stuff that I usually need in March because I'm never there in March. And so I was ordering a lot of stuff on Amazon. And of course, Elisa, my lover, was telling me I have like an addiction. She's like, Judy, what's going on? Every day, it's another thing. What's going on? I'm like, it's a stapler. What's your problem? But here's what I want to. This is the thing about Amazon. Number one, I tend to do all the shopping late at night. I don't know if anyone else is like me with that. And then oftentimes I'll open the door in the morning and I'm like, oh, I put that in my cart. Great. That's great. But I want to know who taught the people at Amazon how to pack a box. What goes on in that warehouse? Seriously. It's like, hey, we got a tweezer. I'm going to need a 12 by 26 box. Come on, people. Just plastic tweezer. I need a bigger box. I need some of that plastic stuff with the air in it. I just want to say, whoever picked the people to unmute, shitty job. Anyway, I'm kidding. No, it is great to be here. And I did write a book this year. That was the one good thing. I got to do I went on a book tour in my living room, and I wrote a book called Yes, I Can Say That When They Come for the Comedians, We're All in Trouble. It's all about free speech. Thank you, Judy Goldfan. I love you. I would show you the book, but it's red. And yeah. But there's a link. Anyway, and I wrote this book because I kind of had to, because we have gotten so politically correct in this. It is ridiculous. Everyone is like insulted. You can't say anything anymore. PETA, do you know the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals recently came out with a list of idioms that have been in the English language for hundreds of years that they want to change so they're not mean to animals. I'm not making this up. Okay, here. See that? Okay. These are totally real. These are real. They were in the New York Times. Ready? They want to change kill two birds with one stone to feed two birds with one scone. Okay? Scone? No, they can really die from that. Have you ever seen a bird fly? I think it's tea time. Tweet, 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 tweet. Josh, please. Okay, ready? These are real. They want to change bring home the bacon to bring home the bagels. Apparently, there's a Jew on the board of PETA. So I wrote one for them, but you guys got to tell me what you think, because I kind of want to send it in. All right, ready? I want to change hung like a horse to has a huge cock. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm on board.
Okay. The people who are unmuted cannot also heckle. Okay. That's not happening. My hair looks like shit with this virtual background. I did my hair and it's all like going into the Torahs over here. What the fuck is this? I don't know lam, I share my luck, but tell him call you Tierney Evra. So, yeah, what else? I am a Jew. Actually, we did the 23andMe. I am 99.8% Ashkenazi Jew. My lover, Elisa, is 99.9% Ashkenazi Jew. Yeah, you took off 1% for rhinoplasty. So, yeah, yeah, Elisa's I hate that term lover. Don't you hate that term? That used to be what we used to. All it does is make the person you're talking to imagine you guys having sex. That's all. Hey, hi, no, this is not. No, she's my lover. Oh no, I can't believe we're even out of the house because all we do is make love or lovers. Anyway, she's actually laughing at this joke, and she heard it. How many times have you heard it? Okay, but shut up. So, yeah, there's been an uptick in the anti-Semitism. A lot of like crappy things have happened. There was an uptick, it's a lot of people felt like the administration that we just got out of was good for the Jews, which isn't great at all. I think horrible. Think of the Jews in the administration. Jared, Stephen Miller, who else? Epstein. Thank God my mother's dead. She would not have been able to deal with the Jeffrey Epstein thing. Because I remember do you remember in the 70s, the Son of Sam? I never forget this. The Son of Sam was, this serial killer. Everyone was so worried. No one would leave the house. It was terrible. And according to Lisa, she probably wasn't even born yet. It was in the 70s. Anyway, I'll never forget it. They finally find the guy, the Son of Sam, and it turns out his name is David Berkowitz. And my mother is freaking out. She can't. Oh my God, this is the worst thing for us. They all hate us. They're going to hate us more. I don't know how a nice Jewish boy could do this. It's the worst. And for 2 days, she's screaming. 2 nights later, we have dinner. We're sitting down for dinner. And my mother's in a really good mood. And I said, Mom, what's with the mood swing? She said, well, Judith, David Berkowitz, the Son of Sam, adopted. So, well, I guess W or B had to get up on that joke. I don't know who that was. WB Doorbands just got right up after that joke. But whatever. The anti-Semitism is very bad. You know, in Borough Park recently, a woman was walking down the street with her 18, 19 kids. I think she was about 22. And someone came over to her and took off her wig, just went over and pulled her wig off. Isn't that terrible? And I was thinking, you know, that's actually something I would like to do. Because I don't know what the hell is under there that only her husband can see. I mean, what is going on under that? What does she have, nipples coming out of her head? Okay. So, interesting. Here's the problem with our country. The problem with our country is the fact that we have these religions that are new, that are screwing everyone up. Like, okay, we're the Jews. We're the first. You know, we started everything. Everything was fine. Then they came. The Christians were like, look, boring. The food is, you have the worst food. We need to write a New Testament. I can't. The music sucks. Everything sucks. The wardrobe, we're done. It's fine. So we all live together. And then there's the Muslims and the Buddhists and the Hindu, and everyone's living together. And then we have the new religion. Then these come. And they're so ridiculous. First of all, we get the Mormons about 150, 200 years ago, which I don't know if anyone knows it. Do you know where Mormonism was created? Anyone? Upstate New York. Okay, upstate. You're telling me that God got on 87 and then 287 and was like, oh, you know, what a beautiful job I did with the Finger Lakes. I think I'll start a new religion here. Oh, God. You know, the only religion to come out of upstate New York is buffalo chicken wings. That's it. Okay? But people really do believe all the stuff in the Bible. Now, come on. There's stories they've been told and retold and told again. You know, it's ridiculous. You can't believe. Like, let's just take one thing, okay? Sarah, okay? Sarah, nice Jewish woman, gives birth at 90, okay? She drops a kid out of her vagina at 90 years old. And Abraham was 100. So you're telling me he's getting it up at 99? I don't think so, okay? The only good thing about giving birth at 90 is that if you're breastfeeding, you can multitask. Here you go, Isaac. Oh, someone's hungry. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, mommy has to go vacuum the living room. You stay right there, okay? All right. Someone's really hungry. Okay, that's a saggy tits joke, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it works better in a club when you can actually see more than my head and the fake Taurus. But I am in therapy. Actually, yeah, you know that because I had therapy today. My therapist actually has the same name as my mother, Mommy. And here's the thing. I used to walk to therapy because I live on the Upper West Side, and that's where all the therapists live. And I'll never forget, my mother died 5 years ago, but every time I would walk to my therapist's office, I would call my mother on the way. And she'd say, what's doing? And I said, I'm walking to therapy. Every time she would say the same thing. You're going to talk about me? And then I'd call her on the way home. What's doing? Oh, I just left therapy. It's all my fault, isn't it? It's all my fault. Okay, this idea that one person is unmuted is not good, Lisa. I can't. So
okay, let's unmute everyone.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so I do miss my mother. She spent the last few years of her life at the Hebrew Home for the Aged because we were kosher. She was very kosher. And in fact, for the one or two non-Jews here, one of the main rules of being kosher, you can't have meat and dairy together, right? And if you had a kosher kitchen, a kosher home, you would have separate plates for meat, then you had for dairy, separate utensils for meat and dairy, separate pots and pans. And if you made a mistake, if you by mistake, you're in a rush, you use a meat spoon for ice cream, okay? After you get struck by lightning and wake up from the coma, in order to make that spoon kosher again, you have to bury it in the earth for 3 days. And in my house, we grew up in New Jersey. My mother didn't want to go outside in the freezing cold in the winter time, so she'd put them all in our house plants. So people would come over for dinner and be like, "Oh, beautiful ficus tree! Wow, why is there a fork sticking out of it?" I'm like, so my mother ends up going to the Hebrew Home for the Aged simply because it was kosher. And, it wasn't that, it's bad, but it's not that bad. I'm glad she's not around for this. But, you could put your own furniture in your room. Oh, and photos. I went through all my mother's photos. I found one photo of my mother with her grandfather. I said, "Ma, your grandfather was so fat." And she said, "Well, Judith, that was the style then." Really, when's that coming back in style? I need a modeling job. You know what I mean? But I will never forget. There was a guy at the nursing home who loved her. His name was Harold, which coincidentally was my father's name. And Harold used to visit my mother all the time. But the thing about Harold was he had something wrong with him and he couldn't lift his head up. So he'd walk around like this. And every time I'd walk in my mother's room, he would be like, "Hey, Judy, it's so nice to see you." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, Harold, how you doing?" And my mother would be sitting in the chair going, "Get him out." And I'm like, "What's wrong with you? He loved you. He's here early. We have to visit you. What are you talking about?" She's like, "He's here to steal my New York Times. He takes the New York Times." I'm like, "Ma, you're crazy." So one day I walk in, Harold is in there. He's like, "Judy, it's so nice to see you. Your mother and I were just watching a movie." I said, "Really? Was it on the floor?" All right, I didn't say that, but I thought it. So he leaves with the arts and leisure section. And on this particular day, I used to bring my mother a list of questions because I wanted to make sure I talked about everything I could remember with her. And so this particular day, I say to my mother, I said, "Ma, look, if you could have married anyone in the entire world besides Daddy, who would you have married?" And she sits there thinking and thinking. And finally she says, "Dean Martin." I said, "Dean Martin? Mom, he wasn't Jewish." "Oh, Judith, that doesn't matter." I had a pork roll with shrimp, lobster, cheese, and a priest, and I shoved that thing down my throat. It doesn't matter, okay? Well, I was 25 years old. I had those stupid Hydrox. What the hell was that shit? I can have lunch, nothing. You know what I should put in my lunch? Vienna fingers. They're Scottish people during tea, okay?
The only things are kosher.
Okay, you cannot talk and be unmuted, okay? The Jews were unmuted and talking, not a good conversation. They were kosher. Those things had the animal fat in them. And they couldn't, Crisco's not kosher. You can't have the Crisco. I don't understand it. But
I want the cookies.
Okay, who the hell is that? And this is why I'm converting right after the show. Okay. So, what else? I am by the way, very proud member of the LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ community. I sign umlaut, blend. More. Okay, I don't understand. We take anyone with any issue at this point. There's not enough letters in the alphabet. It's like, oh, you like to fuck your shirt sleeve? Come with us. Yes, we're going to get the shirt sleeve on your mortgage and your insurance. Don't you worry. I can't. And I'm very open. I believe live and let live. But the constant micromanaging your identity, I'm like, okay, fine, be whatever you want. There's no more letters left. We started out as LGB, fine. Then we became LGBT, much better. Then we became LGBTQ. And if you ask any gay what the Q means, you get a different answer. Oh, it means queer. No, it means questioning. No, it means quesadilla. It means shut up. That's what it means. Now we have the gender issues, which, I think, look, I believe, that we have all these different, I think that the young generation, the very young generation, wants to get rid of gender altogether. And I was thinking, okay, if we get rid of gender altogether, how are we going to know who to pay the higher salary to?
And not so
Nothing on
funny.
that? Miriam liked it. I don't care about the rest of you, but I don't even know how much time I did. How much time have I done?
Hour and a half.
Shut up, Lisa. Your mother's going to be closing for me. Anyway, what else did I want to say? Yes, and we really need to learn all the terms and everything for the young people. Because when because you get confused, right? So like when I had first heard the term gender fluid, I was like, oh, gender fluid. I know what that is. You popped out a couple kids, you run for the bus, gender fluid. You know what I'm talking about? The prostate's enlarged, the bathroom's a mile away, gender fluid. Apparently that is not gender fluid. But you live and you learn. I am in a relationship. I'm a menopausal lesbian, in a relationship with another menopausal lesbian, which is really fun. And, I have to say, spending 24 hours a day with someone during quarantine, it's great for the relationship. It really is. Anyway, here's the thing. I love Elisa. I love her. She's the greatest. But this is the thing, she's by trade a therapist, and everyone's like, oh my God, what a good combination, therapist and comedian. I'm like, look, I hate myself. I know why I hate myself. I don't need her validating it. Okay. We're done. All right. But I've realized one thing with all I've been in relationships with women my entire adult life. And here's the one thing I have to say they all have in common. No fight ever ends. Like honestly, we have an argument and I think it's over. Okay. I really do. I think and then like 15 minutes later, Elisa will come over and be like, Judy, do you feel like we had closure during the, yeah, totally. Okay, just checking. I just wanted to. Another 10 minutes go by. Judy, can we just process that for a few more minutes? Because I feel really uneasy about, you know what, at least absolutely. It's so funny because I was just about to sit down with my book and a latte and I was thinking, oh my God, I really hope we can rehash that fight we had 3 days ago about how I watched an episode of The Crown, didn't tell you, which makes me a compulsive liar and is why none of my friends trust me. And I was hoping we could talk about that ad nauseum, maybe take a break for dinner. You could bring it up right before bed. How does that sound? Good? We have a recurring fight too. Here's the thing. So last Hanukkah, I got Elisa a Fitbit. You know the Fitbits, right? Everyone have a Fitbit? Okay. So I got her a Fitbit. She got me nothing. And then in January, she's like, oh, I got your gift. And it was a Fitbit. So she's very original. She thinks of a lot of really original. Anyway, so it's the worst thing because we're competitive lesies. We're both sporty. But now, I don't know if you know this, on the Fitbit, it tracks your sleep and it gives you a sleep score. Okay. So every morning, I wake up to this. What'd you get? I'm like, I don't know. No, what'd you get? I need to know what you got. What'd you get? Like an 85, 86? I don't know. I got like an 82. 82, that's great. You want to know what I got? What? 46. Because you don't stop snoring. I can't do this anymore. Okay? Every night. How many steps? 1. I did 1 step today. Okay. I laid on the couch. I stood up and then I went back down. You win. You did more steps than anyone in the entire world. But here's the thing. The very beginning of a relationship, it's the best, right? Is that not the best? Everything is just perfect. You're just doing it all the time. Like everything's just fantastic. And, I realize, and I love Elisa, but there were a couple of things she did in the beginning. I was like, all right, that'll eventually get on my nerves. So I would like to share one of those with you before I leave. Okay. Number 1. One time we traveled. Now, I don't know if you remember traveling where you go to an airport, you get on a plane. Remember that? Anyone? anytime we traveled anywhere and the people had accents, after about 90 minutes, she would start talking like them. I'm not kidding. It was so annoying. Okay. We went to the Outer Banks of North Carolina right before the pandemic. And we're there about an hour. I'm like, I'm starving. So we decide we're going to go to some burger joint. And we go to the burger joint. We're sitting at the table. Okay. And the waiter comes over and is like, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I'm going to get a burger and a shake, parv. And and he says to Elisa, what can I get you? And she literally looks up at him and says, what about the sweet potato fries? I'm like, why are you talking like that? Where you're from Westchester? What is going on? So then she tells me, okay, she has ILD, imitative linguistic disorder, which I believe because she's a therapist. She makes up diseases to get out of fights. It's the worst thing in the entire. I swear to God, she'll be a bitch all day to me. All day, she'll be nitpicking, nasty. I'm like, what is going on with you? Oh, I'm having an episode of SARS. SARS, I know what that is. Yeah, sudden angry response syndrome. I'm like, oh, did they used to call that cunt, or did they? No, too much. So, Mary and her husband are laughing, Lisa. Okay. Anyway, she wants to. When this is over, she wants to go to. She wants to go to Europe. She's like, Judy, we have to travel over Europe. We got to see the world, you know? And I'm like, I'm not going to Europe with you. Can you imagine? We're in the middle of Europe, okay? I wake up in a cold sweat at 4 a.m., not knowing where I am. And all of a sudden I hear, Judy, we has to go downstairs with our luggage. All the shoes pieces are no, we have to go downstairs. All right, final joke. And this happened over the pandemic. I realized Elisa got sick in February. We thought it was COVID. It wasn't, thank God. Baruch Hashem. And she was sneezing a lot. So I realized that and I'm not kidding, every time she sneezes, she literally says, achoo. And it's like really loud. It's like, achoo! Achoo! And I'm like, Elisa, what is that? I'm sneezing. I'm like, that's not a sneeze. Okay, that's a sneeze plus drama you added. No one says achoo when they sneeze. Okay, it just doesn't. It's not like, you know, when you pass gas, it comes out fart. Okay, it doesn't come out like that. Okay. Yawn. Sigh. All right. Well, that's it for me. I think what's going on with Mary? She's dilated? What? Where's the father? He's an asshole. Elisa is actually doing facial expression. I go, where's the father? She goes like this. Love her. All right. Anyway, I just want to say this pandemic sucked the big one, but I hope you had fun laughing. Thank you for doing this, Lisa. We all need a good laugh. There's no Santa Claus, by the way, for any young kids here. I just want to let you know that. And the Jews are the best. We're the chosen. Anyway, no, sorry. But yeah, thank you all so much for having me. I hope I can come back. This is my 4th time doing Kung Pao. I get a jacket like they do on SNL for my 5th, right, Lisa?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, she's so full of energy. Anyway, thank you all so much. Happy, healthy. Let's go 2021, baby.
Woo! Judy
Gold,
everyone. And Judy, I didn't say I was 55. I said I'm over 55.
No. Did she not say I'm 55? Lorene. Yeah, Lorene Lazarevici. You're not Jewish, Lorene. You are? Look at her. She's like screaming. But you have a little Italian in you? I mean, you have Jew face.
Oh, no. All these people are saying, yep. Yes, she said it. Okay. I'm 58 and 3/4.
All right. Oh, you're Romanian.
Romanian.
All right. Well, you were very fun to look at because you were laughing during the show. And Miriam, thank you. I'm not sure about your husband, but whatever. Alexi, very nice. Everyone else
Judy
is,
Gold, everyone.
Thank you.
Judy Gold. Let's hear it again for Judy and Alex and Mommy and me. So we have shows tomorrow and Saturday if you know anyone who's interested in attending. And we're going to have a Q&A in just a couple of minutes. So if you want to get up and stretch or pee or do whatever, come back and we're going to have a Q&A. If you want to ask any of the performers questions, you can just put your questions in the chat. Thank you for being here and Merry Christmas. Everyone's mics. All right, enough with the Jewish music. All right, let's switch to gallery view. Okay, hello everyone. So we're going to have a Q&A if anyone wants to ask questions. Should we just do it in the chat or should we unmute and just have chaos?
Unmute and have chaos.
Yeah, let's unmute. Yeah, let's unmute. Okay, let's hear it again for the fabulous Alex Edelman and Judy Gold. Now that we have unmuted everybody. Alex E. Okay, so does anyone have any questions for any? Robin Bloom left. So hard to not to read everybody up top who's
I'm
leaving.
adding myself in here with you, Lisa, because
I have a comment.
Well, before
That's
we do
Emily
comments,
Duffy. I know your voice.
Can we do a little backstage work here?
Yes.
Oh, there's Judy. I'm going to bring Judy on, and I want to bring Alex on, but it sounds to me like maybe Alex is having an issue
Or video
with his video. So, I'm going to work with
I'll be
Alex
done in a second. I
and
just have
maybe
to answer questions.
start with Judy. Okay.
Okay, I'm sitting now.
All right.
How tall are you?
Is that really?
No.
Oh. I'm going to kill you. No, I don't need the thing up anymore. I just nothing. I want to get rid of this virtual background. I can't stand it. How do I get rid of my virtual background? I can't with this shit.
Tamara Norman says, Alex, you were wonderful. Too bad you have a girlfriend. I have a daughter.
Is it my girlfriend? Is your daughter my girlfriend?
So funny.
Judy, the way to get rid of the virtual background is click on that little caret on top of start video.
I know.
Or on the bottom left of your screen, wherever the
I know.
mute
I usually
button
do
is.
it.
There's a caret
There
right
it
next to
is.
that. Audio settings.
Yes,
And then
stop
background
video.
and filter.
Oh, here we go.
Alex. There we go.
Video settings.
Yay,
Yep.
we're all-
Okay. I got it off from my therapist.
And
I
then
think
choose
Larry had a
none,
good
if you see it.
time here tonight.
I'll have a beer, yeah.
Lisa, we're all set now. We have Alex, we have Judy,
Okay.
we have you in the spotlight.
I'm back, guys. I've got my.
Oh God, there we go.
Hold on.
Here's my green screen. Ew, I look terrible.
You look great.
right.
You look great, Judy. Don't do that.
Oh, stop. All right.
I think chat
Thank
is
you.
a terrible idea for a Jewish event.
A
he's
what?
mine, right. Oh, I'm just reading some of the comments in chat. It's like,
By the way, I see a few questions. I am from Brookline. My father is from Brookline and South Brookline, which is the shitty part of Brookline, and yeah. Hold on. What else? What else are these questions? What are else the question? Where do you get ahi tuna now that John Gotti doesn't work at Winstead Food on the Upper East Side? Clear. Go to Barney Greengrass.
All right, Alex, what's your favorite flavor?
Ben, are
on
your
Soda
socks on the
Stream?
floor in the thing?
What's my favorite flavor of what?
Lorene
This is
has a
Emily.
question for Lisa.
Thumbs up, so we're good.
All right, I'm going to add myself to this.
My favorite
this
flavor on
spotlight
Soda
here.
Stream is plain, baby. It's plain.
Oh, okay.
How dare you?
Okay, I'm
How
going
does-
to
what is-
come in here and
Soda
go over
Stream.
the questions. So someone has a question for Alex.
Called
What's
soda.
your favorite flavor on Soda Stream?
It's regular. If I want flavored seltzer, I'll buy a soda.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Lauren
Wendy.
has a
Where were you
question
during the
for
show? I
Lisa.
see you laughing, but I wasn't.
Oh my God, you were hilarious.
Thank you, Wendy.
I almost peed in my pants.
Well,
Don't lie.
You
You did.
really don't need that information.
Wendy, are you the person who has a daughter for Alex?
that's Tamara Norman said.
Oh, Tamara Norma. Sorry.
Hey, Alex, he remembers that.
He filed that just in case. I hope
Hey,
your
Alex,
girlfriend's out
I
of the
got to
room.
ask you a question here,
Yes,
Alex.
sir.
So you grew up, I put this in chat. So you grew up, Orthodox, you grew up going to the yeshiva, you grew up not celebrating Christmas. So how's your father feel about your chosen profession? Does he think you're funny?
You know
Or just
what?
kind
I
of
don't-
obnoxious.
I mean, my father thinks I'm funny, but my father thinks he's funny. So
Oh, there you go.
I don't know about my father's sense of humor, but what I will say is that I know this doesn't play into the stereotype, but my parents love what I do, and I think all parents want is for their kids to pick a job that makes them happy and gives them health insurance. So thrilled when I was able to write on a television show and get Writers Guild health insurance. But yeah, they like what I do and come to a lot of shows, and they brought me to see Judy Gold at the Newton JCC when I was a teenager.
Oh God.
I know. So this, I think my parents would, although they also brought me to see Bill Cosby when I was a teenager. So I'm just waiting.
He's such a good guy. What a
He's
good
such
guy.
a pedophile.
I have in my book that my mother used to say, Judith, Bill Cosby doesn't curse. Why do you have to curse all the time? I'm like, well, I don't drug and rape women. So take your pick.
I mean, but imagine if you could not do both. How even better would it
Yeah.
be?
Judy, who do you want to have on your podcast who hasn't been on yet?
Oh, I love that question.
I love you.
I love you. Who would I
And while
want?
she's thinking of the answer, you have to listen to the 2 episodes when Judy interviewed Alex on the podcast. It's just
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's
But
so
you also
Jewy.
have to listen to all of the episodes, especially the ones when her mother is actually on.
Oh yeah, in the beginning. Who would I like to? Who would I like to? I would love to get like.
So much comedy.
Lisa's mother.
No. Yeah. Who would I love to get on the podcast? Jill Biden?
Ooh. That's Dr. Jill Biden to you.
Oh yeah, sorry, Dr. Jill Biden. I would like, I'd like to get Kamala, huh?
Yeah.
I'd love to get Katie Porter. Katie Porter?
Yes.
I love her.
Yeah, she
I
rocks.
love political. I'd like to get like Gloria Steinem, which I think she would do it.
How about Sean Hannity?
Oh yes, he's fascinating. And Tucker Carlson, really want him.
Oh yeah.
And Donald
hear
Trump
Jew lovers.
Jr. Donald
Jew
Trump
lovers.
Jr. He's fascinating.
What about Ivanka? She's
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is
I'd like to have their
deteriorating.
nanny on actually. Their nanny.
They sat behind me in
Stephen
Shaw.
Miller's parents on and
They-
find out what the hell happened in that house.
They sat behind me in Shaw for years at Kehiloth Jeshurun on the Upper East Side.
Wow.
They sat behind you?
They sat behind me or in front, like at the beginner's minion for a while, the young person's minion. And, I like the brother, Josh. He's a sweetie. And so I can't, the fact that I can't stand Jared, if I see him in Shillagad, I'm going to.
Yeah, Josh actually,
You want me to go on my brother?
Josh, they say he's a Democrat and he was a Bernie guy. And then I don't think he's drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, the kosher Kool-Aid. I don't think he drank the Dr. Brown's black cherry.
We've got a question for Lisa from YouTube Live. And the question is, was your mom always funny or a good storyteller?
I don't think I realized how funny she was until I started living with her on, let's say it together, March 3rd. Because, we hadn't really spent much time together. I've been away for 40 years. And, suddenly we're just talking. She's the funniest at like 3 a.m. when she gets up in the middle of the night. And I'm just going to sleep and we start chatting and she's just cracks me up. So the next show will be at 3 a.m.
Wait, so Lisa, it's been 40 years. So you were like 3 when you left the house?
I was 17 when I left home. So,
I know, I'm kidding. Lisa, I'm kidding.
No,
Holy shit.
No, 58.
How do I look worse than both of you?
I'm almost 60.
Have you seen, there's a
I'm
Dolly
skipping
Parton
59.
billboard. There's a Dolly Parton billboard for that's here.
I wish they had more comedians.
Didn't need Belinda Cooper? Are you absolutely joking?
What is that? A Jew complaining? What? That's so unusual.
You should add more comedians. Up yours. I don't want to falsely accuse Belinda, but that's where the noise I thought came from.
Well, I wish they had all the comedians. This is why everyone hates us. Okay.
I wish they had more.
All those people in the background, you need to introduce them. You had all these people walking around in the background.
Oh, in my background?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Ben's foot. Ben, my son over here, and then that's Henry.
How's there still a peanut gallery?
Here's Henry. Here's my older son. Ready? Right here.
Ready.
Yes. Let's see.
That's the older one.
Well, I think we should ask him questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question for you though. What? Why do you have 4 avocados? You know that you're not going to eat all 4. One's going to go bad.
Because Ben was coming home and I thought, oh, we'll make guacamole or eggs. Shut up!
Hold on, I want to hear from
I
Ben.
got it 3 days ago and I brought one back from Provincetown. Just leave it alone. No one cares.
Hi, Ben.
No, that's Henry.
Oh, well, okay, fine.
Ben,
whatever.
let's see your foot. Ben's foot. That's Ben's foot. See it?
Okay.
How's Tulane? How's Tulane?
There's Ben's foot.
How's Tulane? No one listens.
How's Tulane?
He doesn't go to Brandeis?
No, he plays basketball at Tulane. What's the basketball team at Brandeis like? Huh? They're tripping over their Talit.
It's the only NCAA basketball team that plays with black dress socks.
And white shirts.
And to fill in.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't go that far. But the seats flop around when you're driving down the court.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get more questions. I'm not enjoying having my stuff punched up by I don't like it when Larry Gunsberg's funny.
There you go.
I don't see any other questions.
All right, we're going to eat our...
All right. Well, thanks for joining us and enjoy the rest of the pandemic, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow if you're
and
bored.
tell everyone that to come, that didn't come to come, and that there'll be 20 more comedians tomorrow, right, Lisa?
yeah, exactly. And buy Judy's book and Alex's CD.
Yes, my book is so good,
CD
and it's
is
very
a growth-
Jewish.
It's a growth industry, guys. Please purchase my CD.
And then we have lockdown comedy every third Thursday of the month. And the next show is January 21st, the day after the inauguration, with Greg Proops headlining. He's a wonderful political comedian
I love
out
him.
of LA. So thanks for being here. Let's hear some more Jewish music. And
night night.
Good night, everybody.
Shalom.
Thank you.